Morning, everybody. I am here with my new filters. This one's actually out of the box, so it's right here. So this is my new HEPA filter. It is a Home Solutions MediClean HEPA and Carbon pre-filter for Lux products. And so with my old Guardian, when I got that, or the previous Guardian that I had, it came with these Home Solutions stuff, and I was just like, that sounds really generic. And then you can't, I think on the older bag, the Aerus symbol was smaller, or maybe on these, they're black and white, or blue and blue. um, and it said this Home Solutions thing. I was like, what is this? Like some cheap knockoff? Because I was like, it's just a cardboard bag collar. But then I realized, oh, okay, this makes sense now. So I ended up actually having the right vacuum bag. But they are generic, they are genuine. And I thought to myself at the same time, I was just bringing up the fact that the Home Solutions, this looks so generic, and it's in like a lavender box, but it does say Aerus on it. So this is genuine products. I just don't know why they call it Home Solutions. You know, like Hoover brands their product as Hoover. Dyson brands their products as Dyson. They don't put their stuff under a different name. Mila's bags are Mila's. They're not, Household Helpers by Mila. It's not something cheesy like that. I don't understand why they felt the need to add another name to the box, almost as if it's like a brand in itself. To me, Home Solution sounds like they make everything from carpet this to carpet that and belts, and it sounds like Arm& Hammer or something. So I guess that's my little rant. But so I got a new HEPA filter for it because apparently my old one was in bad shape. So this is like attached. I'm sure it pops off. It looks like it clips on right there. And this one must have too, but it came undone. So that's the old carbon pre-filter portion, and this is it all attached. Very like heavy duty, and it says it's made in Europe. And there's a date and everything spot on there if you can see it. It's kind of dim lighting in here. Hey Google, turn on bedroom light. Okay, so that's a little better, but the Home Solutions MediClean Long Life HEPA after filter. So allegedly this doesn't need to be changed as often as others, but these are platinum specific products. I don't know as if the newer Lux Classic or the Lux Legacy takes filters that are internal like these ones. I mean, it's very possible. I'm sure they have some extra filter to them. And you can see again, these bags on these are actually quite small, but it doesn't really bother me. So on the inside, you can see now there is a little bit of something, but otherwise the inside is decently clean. That right there is from that. But I was thinking to myself, how does this seal? Because the way that they do this, the bag door is huge, I would think, and the opening, so the air can travel all the way around the bag collar, this whole cardboard piece. How does it seal the air and not leak out, and it just all happens to be directed through the bag inlet? Well, there is a gasket, and I just didn't remember seeing it before. There's a rubber gasket up here that seals the bag down and the bag door. And also, I forgot to mention when I did a review on this, and I'll show you in a second. Oh, I'm putting the bag in without even putting the new filter in. So here's the new filter. I don't think it matters what way you place it in the vacuum. So, oops, what'd I do? My finger fell into the, okay, so, and this just flips over like that. So, I believe that's on. I don't think it clicks or anything like that. It's just in there. So these bags, they're kind of a pain because they don't have a lot of structure to them. They just kind of um, wiggle in there because it's cloth, and then this just snaps down. So I was gonna say, initially I didn't have the hose attached. I just wanted to feel the power of the vacuum when I first got it home, and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing, I don't understand how it's supposed to clean so well and how people rave so much about it because I just had it like this. A lot of the air escapes out the bottom of this handle when the bag isn't in place or the hose isn't in place. So all the air will just go right out through there. You can kind of see my hand through there. So air will actually escape through that part. If you're just leaving it out to like circulate the air, that's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to limit its performance or anything like that. Um, and it seals off when you put the hose in because the air just goes right through the hose instead. So then down here is your other filter. So this has a lot of carbon buildup. You can see the new versus the old. So this is going to go in. And many of you may not realize this definitely fits a lot more snug than the older filter. But many of you may not realize that the post motor filter is just as important to keep clean as the pre motor filter because and just like on a direct fan or a direct air machine, it's just as important to keep clean because has to escape just as quickly as it's coming into the vacuum. Unless it has like a larger surface area, it doesn't have to be as forced. It's more concentrated coming through the hose and a sealed chamber where it's more like just streamlined. But exiting through the vacuum too, if the air is being restricted and it can't push the air out very fast, it causes the motor to work a little bit more of an overtime. It's like putting your hand over the hole or the like an auric, like cutting off the air right when it's blowing into the bag. It won't suck anything in because it can't push any air out. It has to have a constant stream of air going through. And some of you may not know that, and some of you I'm sure probably already do. But the reason why I share that with you is because some people, again, they don't see the need or feel the need to replace filters except for like the primary one because they see all that dirt where it's more evident. To me, the carbon buildup, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's not that the vacuum's not doing its job, but it's very important to change all the filters on a vacuum. Now, the other part that I wanted to bring up was I got these brand new on eBay for $30. They both came together. So I was like, I'm not passing that deal up. The one filter, the pre-motor, or maybe the one of these filters, or maybe both, are like $50, $60 a piece. So we have a semi-local Aerus dealer that shares an entrance with a another like chain office sort of thing. It's a service place. I'm not going to say where because it's probably the only one in the country that actually shares its door with the Aerus store. But so I walk into this Aerus store, which I've been to the outskirt towns of um, the town that the Aerus dealer is in, but I've never actually drove directly into the town that this Aerus dealer is at. But basically what I'm trying to say is I drive to the area and typically I'm about 5 to 10 minutes away from where this Aerus store is. I never go there, never need to go there for anything. So I walk in and immediately I'm kind of disappointed. I'm like, this place is like barren. They have just the 3 Lux canisters. They have an Aerus light, which is a Riccar Taconi Superlight machine, in the window. They don't have anything that they've taken in on trade. They don't have anything there except for just the demo models. They're just laying there on the floor. They have an Aerus Centralux hanging up on the wall too. and the guy's just fixing vacuums in the back. So I'm sitting there, like 5 minutes goes by, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't see you." And he's like, "Well, where are you from?" And I tell him, and of course, I didn't give him exactly where I was from because I have called the store before and um, wasn't on the phone for very long because the guy wasn't very helpful. And he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah. So what are you looking for?" I said, "Well, I have a platinum." And he's like, "Oh, are you a salesman?" I'm like, "No." And he's just like, "Oh, well, I just know a lot of salesmen get these platinums in on trades like Rainbow Salesman and Kirby Salesman." I was like, "Nope, it's mine." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, what do you need?" And I said, "Well, I wanted to get prices on filters, and I wanted to get those clean sweep chips for this." And I'd been on the Aerus's website. They're $8 or something like that for the clean sweep chips. And he pulls out this printed off paper and he rambles off the numbers. I was just like, okay. I was like, I'll get the pre-motor filter because this one, everything out the door would have been like $120. I was like, I think I'll just go through eBay, but I didn't tell him that. I was just like, okay, I'll just take the pre-motor filter because I remembered the price he was quoting me was Aerus's website price, and then he quoted me like $15 for the clean sweep chips, but I wasn't gonna make a big fuss about it. And then he's just like, "Well, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Well, I told you." And he's like, "Well, where'd you get your Aerus from?" And I said, "Well, I bought it off of a woman, but she sold it to me." And I told him like the other store, the neighboring store that she must have bought it from. And because it says it on the power nozzle, there's a service sticker. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he's just like, "So do you live in that area?" I was like, "No." I said, "I don't live anywhere close to that one. This is the closest air store to me." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And I was just like, "Can I just get those things?" And he's just like, "Well, I'd have to order them in." And he's just like, "We don't keep anything here in the store." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So why go through all that trouble? Like, why is he trying to figure out where I live? I assume he must have been trying to like figure out where I would be shipping it from, or like try and direct me to another Aerus store. But they don't carry them in stock. He didn't have anything in stock. Didn't even have bags in stock. I'm like, what do you like? How do you intend to sell vacuums here and not be able to sell the supplies? Like that's people's biggest fear is buying a vacuum and then having no support to be able to continuously use that vacuum throughout its life or whatever, because now they've got to order everything online. And up until a couple years ago, I was kind of the same way. I didn't order things online because I didn't like waiting. I wanted to find it in the store and just be able to pick it up and have it right there. Well, that kind of irritated me. So I drove all that way, made that special trip. It was a little over an hour, and they don't carry anything in stock. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm never going back there again unless I absolutely have to get something repaired. There's no point to go back. They sell it to you, that's it. And I don't even think they had any vacuums in stock except for the demo. So you couldn't even leave the store that day with a vacuum cleaner. Just an experience. So I don't know about you guys' local Aerus dealers, but to me, I mean, it says Aerus Electrolux on their maroon canopy or something that hangs over like the street, and it just really irritated me. But that's my little story. So I won't be doing business with them. There's no need. I already own the vacuum. That's pretty much the only thing that they can provide, and even those are by order. But to me, that's a little more understandable. But I just realized how long this video was. Um, but thank you guys for watching. There are going to be some more videos coming soon. I don't know about today, but thank you. Please drop a comment, like, comment, and subscribe. Again, I love comments, so feel free, except for the rude ones. Leave those out. But thanks again, and stay tuned for more.